Yeah, that's an important understanding. That which is comfortable often holds us back, or or often good is the enemy of great. Good is the enemy of great. Because if you're good at something, you are comfortable doing that thing. So
Mm.
you never get to the next level.
Mm.
You never reach the next level of achievement. You never get on to the next challenge. And
Mm.
it's always interesting examining where those what those levels are. It's the only way to progress is to put yourself in the position of losing. I mean, what is it to have your
Mm.
own business? It's to put yourself in the position of losing. You could lose, right? You could lose. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's where the learning comes from. The learning comes from the fact that you could lose, but you don't,
Mm.
right? And so it also comes from understanding that you have to. There's so much you can learn. You have to keep going. Even if you make one mistake, you can't stop. Keep going. Those little things you have to remember that yes, you're playing in a music school, but most people don't have a musical ear anyway, so they they don't they don't know if you make a mistake, right?
Yes, of course.
Uh,
Mm.
so you just um, this is a horrible saying in English, which is man up. You just man up and just get through it and go and do it
Mm.
anyway. It's sort of army style. You just find a way to get to the end of what it is that you're doing. But there's so much that can be learned from going through the process. It's also interesting to know where that line is because where's the line between I'm okay to play to a small group of people and it's difficult for me to play to a larger group of people. Where's that line? Is it 4 people, 5 people, 6 people, 7 people, 8 people, nine
Mm-hmm.
people, 10 people? And and then when you know where that line is, you can always sort of aim to just get yourself over the line, and you'll always progress
Mm-hmm.
a little bit. Know where it's just like when people do athletics and running. It's like, oh, I my time was or they run a marathon and their time my time was 4 hours, and then next it's like my time was 3 hours and 50 minutes. You have that
Mm.
line, and you aim to make those
Yes.
those little elements of progress, and it's so important everywhere in life, from from what you it's the little the micro activities each day, like it's how much you move and what you eat, and the thoughts that people surround themselves with, and the quality people that they spend time with. So um, uh, all of those little things are important, and music is your music is one of those original subjects, because I'm not sure if we mentioned before. I know that we're out of time. I know
Mm.
that we're out of time, but I'll just finish with this, which is um, I'm not sure if we mentioned before the original Greek and Athenic learning schools and what they taught there, because originally when education began to be considered as important for everybody in society, education was divided into 7 subjects originally.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it was divided into the first three. So the first 3 subjects were grammar, logic, and rhetoric. Grammar,
Grammar, logic,
logic,
and rhetoric. Mm-hmm.
rhetoric. So what that is
Mm-hmm.
understanding the construct of language, using that uh, to have logical processes, and rhetoric was the ability to communicate your idea clearly to people. Grammar, logic, and rhetoric, and those were the 3 main subjects of the original classical schools:
Mm-hmm.
grammar, logic, and rhetoric. This is why Slovak schools are not so bad, because you've got the grammar language aspects, you've got a little bit of logical processes, and you've got the rhetoric, the oratory skills, the skills of presenting verbal information. Uh,
Mhm.
So those were the first three, and then there were four more that were added to it. The first three is called the trivium. Uh, first three was called the trivium, and
Mhm.
the the second four were called the quadrivium. And the quadrivium is arithmetic, geometry, music, and astronomy.
Mhm. Mhm.
Arithmetic, geometry, music, and astrology. So you've got what became later
Oh,
mathematics.
but con.
So what became later mathematics, geometry, which uh, which is like building, basically. I mean, that's what angles is building, right?
Mm.
Geometry is building. Music. Now, music was one of the original seven subjects.
Mhm.
Music was considered as important as mathematics.
Mhm.
It's very interesting. It was as important. Music was as important as mathematics in ancient Greece. And the last one was astronomy. Now, why is astronomy important? Well, you know what astronomy became later? Astronomy became geography.
Uh-huh.
Astronomy became
Oh.
geography.
Mhm.
And the difference is that in the past, or with geography, you study where you are. But with astronomy, you study where you are in the universe.
Mhm.
Big picture, right?
Mm.
With geography, you study where you are in your locality. But with astronomy, you study where you are in your universe. So this is a big picture study there. And those seven subjects were the basis of all form of all education. And it's really interesting that music was there. And
Mhm.
there's a lot of reasons for that. Music was actually used as medicine. Music was used as medicine. If you look back at Pythagoras and uh, Hippocrates and who was the other collector of knowledge? Can't remember his name. Um, if you look back at that information from history, music was used as a medicine in order to heal people and make people better.
Mhm.
So it was considered vitally important. It also introduced elements of harmony and resonance and what would be called the New Age movement in modern society related to part of that, where people understand that everything in the universe vibrates at a certain frequency, and the human body is part of that as well. And if you sing, for example, if you sing and you have a good singing teacher, your singing teacher will tell you that when you sing, the vibration of the note that you create must be the same vibration through the entire body.
Mm.
So to sing the note correctly, with care, every part of the body must vibrate at the same frequency. Because you feel the song through your whole body. So you're not just singing from your stomach, or if you're really bad, singing from your throat, but you're actually singing. You're singing with your whole body. So it's a whole body activity.
Mhm.
And I learned this from my singing teacher in London. I had an opera singer who was a singing teacher who taught me singing when I lived in London many years ago. And it's
He
interesting what
teached you to sing?
he tried.
Ah.
He tried. It was a she actually. Sorry, she tried. She tried. I was a very bad student and a very bad singer, but she tried. She was great. She was very alternative, and she tried lots. She had things like she had a trampoline, and she had me bouncing on the trampoline singing. I had to jump up and down on the
Oh.
trampoline and sing at the same time.
Mhm.
So I did learn to balance my body. Really interesting.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, if you can imagine you picture in your head a fat German female opera singer. That was my teacher. She's a classical
Uh-huh.
big big lady, right. The classical big lady. Um, yeah, and okay, of course Germans are teachers, like by trade.
Mhm.
Anyway, sorry. Okay, I know that we have to finish. So music. The final part. Music is really important. It's a fundamental part of education. As important as
Yes.
mathematics.
Mhm.
Yeah, for all the elements, harmony and performance and resonance and mathematical principles in art as well. Very important.
Mhm.
There we go. um, okay. Uh,